Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here on Ethereum. Wanted to do a full update on the current situation. The situation, I mean, technically it's still very similar, of course, to what it was yesterday. Yesterday, the markets were closed in the United States, so volume was quite low, and that's also what you can see right here. And therefore, I mean, there was some, you know, on the lower time frames there was some volatility, but ultimately the volatility also remained relatively low. But that does mean that today the volume is still quite low coming from yesterday. That means most often, at least, that the liquidity is also quite low, at least, you know, close to the price right here. So that means that today with that new capital flowing into the markets on a Friday from the United States, again, volatility is to be expected, or at least volatility you should expect. So it's going to be an interesting day. But because of that, not much has changed. I mean, you can see Ethereum right here is just consolidating around the POC right here at 2520, 2540. Over the course of this morning, we saw some bullish momentum come in, and that's more visible for Bitcoin right here. As you can see, Bitcoin has broken above its respective point of control, while Ethereum is still, well, it's trying to break out, but it's still, it hasn't broken yet. So there is some momentum, definitely, and that's also what you can see right here, and the momentum also came with some volume. It's just not true that that same momentum came in for Ethereum specifically. All right, so yes, this morning we saw some momentum come in, and over the course of today, we're going to get more momentum in the crypto markets. Hopefully that's bullish momentum, because that remains uncertain. But Ethereum specifically still looks stable, and that's very boring for me to say, I know, but honestly, I'm just trying to give you the best analysis that I can, right? And at this point of time, I would be lying if I said that it looks like Ethereum is going to break out. Now, I think, and that's mostly because of what I expect from Bitcoin here, I think it's most likely over the course of today that we will see some more recovery. All right, we're seeing some strength coming into the markets. I think in general, you can also see for Ethereum specifically, we have some leverage coming into the price, which is, you know, for the medium term, that's not great news, right? Because you prefer to see more spot buying coming in, which potentially we also got that over the last couple of days. I did not track that, but it is a possibility, especially with the price holding at this area. But that's not necessarily what you want to see on the medium term. But most often, when we do see an increase in open interest, as you can see, that is the start of somewhat of a bullish move, right? So that in combination with the technical situation of Ethereum right here being at the bottom of the range with some imbalances to the top of the range, that also would suggest a slight move up. I just don't think, looking at that leverage and looking at the general volume for Ethereum, which, like I said, if you compare the volume with Bitcoin or if you compare the volume of Bitcoin to the volume of Ethereum, it's not that high, right? And if we want to see a breakout, you'd want to see volume. So for now, I'd say it's most likely that we will see a move up, and that the most likely direction is up. But a breakout I do not expect, right? So then the main resistance level is right here at 2650, 2700. There we have an old imbalance still left. Maybe we also have some old point of controls that we haven't hit. Yeah, so there's a naked POC all the way at 2760. I think that's unlikely to be hit, but ultimately that does still work as a bit of a magnet. So that's what I do expect. But then from there, from the resistance, I expect a rejection unless we see a positive fundamental development, right? And that's also what I want to end this video with. Fundamentals do still matter a lot, right? So if we get some sort of positive fundamental development regarding mainly the situation in the Middle East, maybe then we can break out. But ultimately that also goes the other way, in which I think that this is technically most likely. If we see an escalation, we can drop down pretty severely as well. So yeah, keep that in mind. But that's what I think you need to know regarding Ethereum for now. So thank you for watching. Take care and bye.